Namo Amida Boots, Namo Amida Boots, Namo Amida Boots, Namanda Boots, Namanda Boots, Namanda Boots, Namanda Boots. Gasho. Namo Amida Boots. Namo Amida Boots. Namo Amida Boots. Namanda Boots, Namanda Boots, Namanda Boots, Namanda Boots, Namanda. Hello and welcome once again to the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. This is the YouTube service for January 2nd, 2022. Happy New Year to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us once again in the year 2022 for our YouTube service here at TSDBT's YouTube channel. Service order for this January 2nd service will be Juseige. You can find Juseige on page 57 in the Blue Denver Service Book. Following Juseige, we'll have a reading of the Three Treasures. You can find the Three Treasures on page 106 in the Blue Denver Service Book. We'll then have a Dharma talk, this time finding out about turtles, Broken O-Nenju, and Honen. And after the Dharma talk, we'll be reading the Gobunsho Shonin Ichiryu. So thank you so much for joining us once again here on the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple's YouTube channel. And if you don't have a copy of the Blue Denver Service Book, well, don't you worry, because if you look in the description down below, you'll find a hyperlink to a PDF copy within a Google Drive. So feel free to open that up, download the PDF copy, print it off, or leave it on your desktop. Share it with your friends or keep it to yourself. The point is, you can chant along with us here on the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple's YouTube channel. And we wish everyone here from the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple to you a happy, healthy, and amazing 2022. And remember, you're good just as you are. So put your hands together and say, Namo Amida Boots. Gobunsho Shonin Ichiryu Sho no Shingan Fumanzok Seifu Joshongak Gaho Muyoko Fui Dai Seshu Fusai Shomingu Seifu Joshongak Gashi Jobundo Myosho Chojipo Kukyo Mishomon Seifu Joshongak Ryoku Jin Shonen Joe Shubongyo Shigu Mujo no Isho Tenin Shi Jinriki Endai Ko Fusho Musaido Shoujo San Kumyo Kosai Shuyakunan Kaihi Chiengen Meshi Konmoan Hesoku Shoakudo Tsunan Zenshumon Koso Jomanzok Iyoro Jipo Nichingan Shujuki Tenkon Fungen 種解放像公正苦毒法情報内主従説法ししく供養一切分具足習得本元年心情満得意三概要如門無下知自難未不詳Gagakuへ力投資最小尊心願や効果大勢の感動国書天人と珍妙見ナモナムナモナムナモナムナモナムナモナムナモナムがんにしくどく病のせいさど本ぼないしんおじょわんらこナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏Please join me in Gassho for a reading of The Three Treasures. The Three Treasures. Hard is it to be born into human form. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and become aware of his supreme teachings. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of his doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in the life of harmony and the spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Hello and welcome once again to the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. This is the first Dharma talk for 2022 here on YouTube. And once again, thank you so much for joining us to hear the Buddha Dharma. Today, we are going to read from Master Honen, Shinran's direct teacher. And the quote goes, "Though it is regrettable not to have met Shakyamuni Buddha during his lifetime, nevertheless, it is the greatest blessing to be born into this world and have a chance to listen to his profound teaching. The likelihood of this happening can be compared to that of a blind turtle placing its head through a hole in a piece of driftwood upon emerging from the ocean." Namo Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. So this was written by Honen, the teacher of Shinran Shonin, the preeminent and amazing Tendai monk. And he said, how great is it that we were born into this world, in this time, in this place, to hear the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, to hear the pure Dharma given to us, and to hear and receive the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And I wanted to read this for New Year's because it's good on a year like this, where, let's be honest, it's starting off on a bit of a rocky front. It's, COVID's still happening, and the world is still in a rough place, and it's not like exactly what we want it to be. Like, we all want New Year's to be this huge giant party, and we come out and we have family and friends, and we're eating lots of food, and everything feels great, but it's not quite there right now. And that's okay. In fact, that's what life is. Because it's our expectations of life that cause us pain. And so when we want everything to feel just super perfect and super great, we only end up being disappointed. So it's like a trip to an amusement park. You can sit and you can think about how great the rides are going to be and how great the food's going to be. Let's just go ahead and say it's maybe an amusement park in Southern California with a mouse for a theme. Not that I've been there in a long time, but I know for a fact the tickets are very expensive and the food is very expensive. And so you get yourself jazzed. I'm going to go. And you go and you get there, and the lines are super long, and it took you 3 hours to get a Dole Whip, which is apparently a thing people are really into, and it just takes you forever to go through, and you ended up only riding 5 rides, and you're exhausted, and there's people everywhere, and you're like, wow, this is not like I expected, this sucked, this is not great. And that is the issue, because our expectations cause us pain. And yet, how lucky are we to be born into a world where we get to hear the teachings and we get to know that knowledge that our expectations cause us pain? That is pretty dang lucky. And so as we walk into 2022, into this new year full of new possibilities, even though it really is just a change in a piece of paper and now our accounting systems look different, but it is a new year and a new time, and we get to move forward and be excited and say, this has lots of possibilities to it. This is excellent. And as we walk into these things that were not expected, as these really long lines, overpriced soft drinks, overpriced candy, overpriced experiences, as everything seems very stressful and very hard, we have to take a second and look and find the Buddha in there. We should take a second this year and look and find a lesson in there and remind us and find that perfect moment to say Namo Amida Butsu. Here's the secret. Every moment's a perfect moment. Doesn't matter when it is. You can say it. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And remember, you were born into the world. You were the lucky blind turtle putting your head up in the ocean perfectly through a hole in a piece of driftwood. That is you. You are so very lucky, and we are so blessed. Hard is it to be born into human form. Now we're living it. Difficult to hear the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. That's why we did the 3 treasures today. So I want to talk about lessons that you may find in every day that remind you, oh, isn't this great? So today I'm using I call this my backup O-Nenju. This is the one that's always in my backpack. And it's special to me. It was given to me when I got my Homyo, my Buddhist name, by Reverend Fuji, who used to be one of the head ministers here at Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. And he gave this to me. And I remember at the time I was like, oh, it's kind of old looking. And it had been in the sun for a long time. And the purple on here, if you can see it on the screen, here, I'll just come around. So if you can see on here, the purple is a little faded. And it's a little imperfect. And it's just cheap plastic beads. And yet it was given to me. And one of the things that I love about this is a perfectly great O-Nenju. This is a perfectly awesome O-Nenju. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Remind me of the Buddha Dharma. Namon Dabuts, Namon Dabuts, Namon Dabuts. And yet, if you look at it from the outside, you can say, oh, this is slightly defective. The color is faded. The color is not exactly what it should be. If you open it up, you can see the bright purple, but outside it's faded and it looks dirty and old. But it is perfect. And that is us, is it not? We are faded, we are dirty, we are old. We have our kleshes, our greed, our anger, and our ignorance. And yet, we're the lucky ones to be surfacing up into the Dharma, just like the turtle that Honen talked about. And so I'm using this today because as I opened up, I have everything in a little storage book, and I opened it up, and I go to pull out my O-Nenju, and it goes, poof. And that was my favorite O-Nenju. That was the one I got when I got ordained from Japan. And so I pulled it out, and I've used it almost every service since 2019. And it comes out, and it goes poof, everywhere. And there goes all the beads. And for the first thought I had on my mind was, oh, bleepity, bleepity, bleep. That sucks. I'm not super happy about that. But now that I think about it, I was like, what a great lesson for 2022. What a great thing to happen to me coming into the first Dharma talk of the year. What a great thing to be reminded of. All things are impermanent. All things are impermanent. My O-Nenju broke, and yet, I got to use another one reminding me of the Dharma and how it's directly for me. No matter how foolish I am, no matter what expletives come out of my mouth when I open up my book and my O-Nenju flies everywhere. Oh, no matter how faded I am, this helps bring me to Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So it is unfortunate that I was not born in the time of Shakyamuni Buddha. It is unfortunate that I am not a better person to find enlightenment on my own. And it is unfortunate that things are hard, but it's through these that we can truly gain our deep appreciation and love for the teaching. And so as we go into 2022, this amazing year that's in front of us, 2022, when I was a kid, I couldn't imagine 2022. It was the 1980s. Like, we didn't have computers. And now you're watching this on 4K, probably on your cell phone. How amazing is that? How utterly amazing is it? So no matter what bad things are happening around you, no matter what tragedies seem to be going on, remember that you are the person for this teaching. You are the turtle surfacing from under the water, straight through a hole in driftwood in the middle of the ocean. You are the lucky one. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So join me in Gassho as we read from the words of Honen. Though it is regrettable not to have met Shakyamuni Buddha during his lifetime, nevertheless, it is the greatest of blessings to be born into this world and have a chance to listen to his profound teachings. The likelihood of this happening can be compared to that of a blind turtle placing his head in a hole in a piece of driftwood upon emerging from the ocean. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
少年一流の言関係の趣は信心のもって本当せられ候。そのゆえはもろもろの造業は投げ捨てて一心に皆に奇妙すれば不可思議の眼力として仏の方より往生は自助さしめたも。そのくらいを一年ぽきに少女史上とも釈し、その上の称名念仏だ如来我が往生は定めたまえし、ご恩法人の念仏と心べきなり、あなかしこ、あなかしこ。